Alright, so welcome guys to another video, and it's been a while since I made a video here in this channel. And of course today we have a really exciting camera. This is the Leica M240. So it's been some time since I wanted to get my own Leica M. I have been using the Q, also the X2 as well for several years, and nowadays of course I'm using Fuji's and also Sony's of the world. I do have access to modern cameras. But I still got the Leica M240 because I would love to experience the rangefinder feel. And this is going to be my really first impressions here, guys. So I haven't owned this for more than a week. So the impressions here is really fresh. And coming from a first-time user of the Leica M experience and coming from modern cameras as well. So first, let's go to the build quality. So picking this up, this is actually a heavy camera, guys. So actually the weight here reminds me of the DSLR days. So maybe similar to the 6Ds that I have, the Canon 6Ds or the 5D Mark IIs. So the weight is kind of like that. So it's made of brass and it feels really solid in the hand. So I would say this feels more robust, more sturdy compared to my Leica Q, and the Leica Q is already, nicely built. So picking this up, firstly, you can definitely feel it in the hand. So if you're looking for something that you can just, lug around and easily maybe one hand hold, this might not be the camera that you would want. And also the body as well, it's quite big on this. So this is bigger compared to the Leica Q, also bigger as well compared to the X2 obviously, and even bigger compared to my Sony A7Cs. So actually the A7Cs, the weight there is maybe 2/3 the weight of this. Now going towards the controls and the body itself, so this feels really close to the Leica Q for me in the controls. So the buttons feels really good here. So Leica makes the best buttons. It feels tactile and really responsive. Also even the shutter button as well feels really responsive here. So very similar to the Q and also the X2 as well. So the buttons feels really good here. And actually in my copy as well, guys, I do have a bit of brassing here. I just got this used. And actually for me the brassing looks quite good here. I will say though, compared to maybe the Leica X2 that I have. So the Leica X2 that I have has a silver top. The silver top feels a bit more sophisticated looking over this. So the black top for me feels more of a tool. It will be up to you if you like a more blingy kind of look with the silver, or maybe the more tool kind of looking Leica. I do like the black look overall. So I may black this out as well, just to make it even more stealthy of a look. But yeah, the build quality for me exceptional here. So for 2012 model camera feels really good in the hand here. So I have some confidence in this that this will last me the test of time because of that more sturdy feeling in the hand. Another thing here, guys, is this looks really nice for me. So this looks nicer compared to the Leica Q. This looks more of a film camera, maybe because of that rangefinder look. So this is the overall look. This is the nicest looking Leica that I have. Sometimes the looks will help you be inspired with your shots, and that might be good for you. So for me, being using Leicas for street photography, it feels a bit different compared to maybe using more modern cameras. So it feels that there's kind of like a soul, you feel from the camera, and it makes you take a bit more moody photos, I'd say. So that's just me. I'm kind of a feel kind of guy. So Leica really knows how to design their products. But maybe one issue for me here is at the back. So I don't like this silver trims here. So I would love this to be all black design. So actually I think in the newer models, this is black in color, also in the top as well. Without the grip, it's not that bad for me because it's actually, yeah, it's a pretty big Leica here. It's a pretty thick, the depth here is pretty thick. Still hold it nicely, but I still find the grip to be a bit better with the leather case. And this is an expensive camera as well, so sometimes you can maybe put this on a table, and having that protection in the bottom definitely helps out. Alright, another thing, number 3, guys, is this actually has some smart features, and that is something that I like. I'm actually considering the M8 or also the M9 as well, but I went with the 240s because I do come from more modern cameras like the Q and the A7Cs as well. And for me, transitioning to a rangefinder is not going to be that easy for me. So just to be safe, I went with the 240s because this has live view, and I've used actually live view for several times already. It saved me in a pinch, especially for maybe more awkward angles. So sometimes I cannot bend down on my knees and then take the shot with the rangefinder, and for that usages I use the live view and maybe do a hip shooting scenario, and I can see my shot without looking in the camera and bending down in my knee. So that's really cool. So there's some use cases for me that the live view saved me, and sometimes actually in the dark. So I found that it's not that easy to focus with the rangefinder. Maybe it's just me, it's my inexperience in the rangefinder. but having that live view saved me in some darker areas. So yeah, the live view for me is really helpful, especially if you're coming from more modern cameras. And also I do have an EVF as well. So here in the 240s, you have that option to use an EVF, and my EVF has that maybe vertical look, so I can look down and again do some hip shooting on this, and look at the exposure. So that's definitely helpful as well. So I do already have the EVF from my older X2s, so I didn't need to buy one. So that's another incentive for me to go to the Leica M240s, and having that option to have an EVF is definitely helpful as well. Actually, next let's talk about the rangefinder feel. So we are now getting to the meat of our discussion. So how does the rangefinder feel? First impressions, I actually had a hard time with it, to be honest with you guys. So I am actually okay with manual focusing. I have used manual focusing ever since Canon days. I don't have an issue. One of my favorite lenses of all time, the Carl Zeiss Vistagon f2, is manual focusing only. So I don't have any issues with that. I got used to manual focusing really quick. However, with the rangefinder, it's a different story because I actually have a small patch in the middle that you need to line up. And yeah, for me, it's still quite hard for me to nail the focus really fast here. So the technique for me coming from more modern cameras, I still haven't gotten it. So what I do is I do some maybe a mix of zone focusing and also refocusing after doing some zone and also seeing my subject. So sometimes when I approach an intersection or a facade that I like to shoot, I already set it to maybe an estimate of the distance, and then after that, after setting the estimate, I try to focus with the rangefinder. But yeah, I'd say it still takes me some time to be able to focus properly. So maybe 50% of the shots that I have, I kind of missed the opportunity because I wasn't able to focus properly. So I checked my shots in my first run in this, and yeah, 50% is out of focus. So yeah, coming from modern cameras, this is definitely the bigger thing that guys like me need to learn. The rangefinder is not that easy. Also, I don't have that sharp eyes. As you can see, I'm wearing some glasses. So having that rangefinder as well, actually I got dizzy after maybe a day of shooting because of the rangefinder. So another thing to consider for you guys. So I do have astigmatism as well, so maybe that's one downside. That's why I got dizzy. But yeah, that rangefinder thing definitely takes getting used to. Yeah, that is what you're paying for the Leica M experience. Having that limitation helps you be a bit more creative. So actually what happened there is I got slower in my shooting. So having that setting the zone and after that refocusing. So now it's more important for me to wait for the perfect moment so I don't burst shoot anymore. So compared to maybe my other cameras, my Fujis, my Sonys as well, even my Leica Qs, I do burst shooting because I don't want to miss the opportunity. But now here with the Leica M240, I need to wait for the perfect moment. And actually what happened there is because I do wait for longer time, sometimes I tend to get a better shot compared to maybe when I just burst shot. So case to case basis on this, but having a slower kind of approach to photography definitely helps me to be a bit more creative and be a bit more mindful with my surroundings. So that's definitely something that you're getting with the Leica M series. Rangefinder as well helps me to be able to predict movements of my subjects. So when you look at a rangefinder, you're not just seeing the lens here, you're seeing the side of the lens as well. So you are seeing a bigger crop than what you are just photo taking. So that's definitely an advantage. So if you're waiting for a subject to come to your frame, this will definitely help out in maybe predicting the movement. But yeah, capturing that perfect shot definitely takes a bit more effort here. So yeah, pros and cons here. So moving towards the operation of this, so actually one issue that I encountered here is this actually is a bit slow to start up. So I kind of expect that for an older camera, but here maybe it takes maybe 1.5 seconds to start up, even if you already have the Leica on. So here I turned it on, 1 2 3, and then now it turns on. So maybe around 2 seconds before it turns on here. So after I turn it on, you can hear the shutter open, and that is the start of the opening of the camera. So it takes around 3 seconds before the camera opens. And yeah, that's definitely something that you need to consider here. So sometimes when I'm taking the shot, sometimes the subject is already over and you cannot take the shot anymore. Actually, with the live view off, it's a bit faster here, so definitely with that live view it's gonna be a bit slower, but it usually takes maybe 1 to 2 seconds for you to be able to take the shot. So again, that might be a user error. There might be a setting here that I don't know yet, but yeah, that is something that I encountered. That is a difficulty for me. So again, when I'm approaching a shot, when I'm doing already some zone focusing, and I'm approaching a facade that I want to shoot, I need to turn it on already and be ready to take the shot. So actually, I oftentimes missed several shots because of that opening. So something that you need to consider, guys, another thing that maybe older cameras have, that issue that older cameras have, because yeah, this has older processors here. Right, next, let's go to the shooting and the image performance. So yes, the shooting first, guys. So this is really fun to shoot. So we discussed a lot of things that may slow you down from your photography, but actually because of that, is definitely more fun to shoot with. So actually, when I nail a shot here, it feels really good for me, and that can be good for some people. It feels really rewarding to be able to nail a shot with manual focus, rangefinder, also that slowness of a Leica. So it's a joy to use, I'd say. So I think, yeah, this is the most fun camera that I have so far. So I actually felt that with the Q in the Leica X2, that sometimes when it's a bit too easy, it's not as rewarding to take the shot, especially when I'm doing some burst shooting. Of course, I can do single shooting, but having that feature in the camera, sometimes you tend to use it. So here, because it's not here, you don't have an option but to be able to work around the slowness of the camera. So yeah, for me, each shot here is a bit more fun for me. It's a bit more rewarding of a look for me when I take a nice shot here. And actually, in the operation, the camera as well, so this is actually very nice. It feels like more of a film feel. I'm just looking at the rangefinder, and I also turned off the auto review as well, so it feels like more of a film camera here. So when I take the shot, I just move on to the next subject, and then yes, I maybe spend maybe 5 minutes to take a look at maybe 10 shots that I had before, and maybe if I want to retake a certain shot, I can go back, but usually just do one run and take several shots and then take a look at it after. So it changed my way of doing photography compared to maybe when I'm using my Leica Q. So it's always in live view, or maybe in the viewfinder as well. So I already know if the shot is good or not. Here, you're not sure if the shot is good or not, if it's in focus, if it's in good exposure as well. So you're not 100% sure, and that uncertainty sometimes makes it a bit more fun. So maybe similar to a film feel on this. So yeah, that definitely makes shooting a bit more fun, a bit more engaging for me, and I need to think more when I'm using this. So actually, the photography needs to work more when I'm using the Leica M, and that's nice. That feels really nice for me. That's a nice change compared to maybe your modern cameras, and again, it feels more rewarding to be able to shoot with something like this with some limitations. And yeah, the operation here as well feels really good, because the camera feels really solid. So the shutter button, all the controls that I have, and even I'm using a Voigtlander lens here. Even the focusing here in the Voigtlander lens, the manual focusing, everything feels so tactile. So yeah, different feeling here overall. So that is definitely what you are paying for this kinds of cameras. It's a feel kind of thing. So there's a lot of things that more modern cameras does better, but because of the limitations here, you feel a bit more creative with your shots. Right, next, let's talk about the image quality. So actually, when I first shot with this, my first maybe 10 shots, I was really amazed by the shots that I'm getting. So actually, the colors for me really nice on the M240s. I'm sure there are other M's that has maybe nicer colors, but from the cameras that I have, the X Pro, Leica Q, X2, the colors here really pops, and it fits my preference. It has that contrast that you're looking for, the blacks and also the reds as well. Leica's render reds a bit differently, and it fits my preference. So actually, this is the camera, the closest one to my preference when I edit some photos coming from modern cameras. I edit it closer to a Leica M240 kind of shot. Still not 100%, but maybe this nails it maybe 90% of the time. Maybe compared to my Leica Q, the colors are really nice as well, but maybe around 80% of the time in the Leica, I need to still edit some colors. Compared to the Fuji's as well, really nice colors. But for me to be able to get the shots, the colors that I want, maybe around 70% in the Fuji's, and the Sony's as well. It's the farthest one for me in my kit anyways. So maybe around 50%. So I need to edit the Sony's a lot more. But here, just looking at the LCD, just taking the shot, I can already feel the mood that I'm aiming for. And again, that's definitely an advantage because you can definitely feel the emotion that you're looking for in your camera. And just looking at the LCD by itself, you can definitely feel the shot. It's a feel kind of thing. So in the end product, you can still maybe get similarities in the colors in your other cameras, but here in the moment, it feels a bit better for me when I look at the shots in the LCD. So actually for me, when I look at the shots here, it feels maybe it's kind of cinematic in a way, or maybe a film like in a way. So there's some rendering here that it doesn't feel like it's digital. Actually my Leica Q, after looking at this, the Leica Q feels a bit more maybe too digital now, Philip. And I'm not 100% sure, maybe it's the sensor or the rendering engine that they have, but the Leica Q feels a bit more sharp when I looked at it compared to the M240s. This feels a bit more smooth in a way. ISO performance, so I'm actually scared of the ISO performance of this, especially coming from modern cameras. But actually when I actually shot with this at night in really dark areas, and yeah, I didn't have an issue with ISO actually. So I maybe use 1600 max ISO, up to 3200, still pretty good here. So for a 2012 camera, it's really good. And also, even if you punch up the ISO to higher ISOs, the render of the noise is pretty good still. So yeah, I didn't have an issue for me with the ISO performance of this. Of course, this won't beat out the cleanliness of maybe my A7Cs and also my Fujis of the world, but for the shots that I'm using this for, it's definitely enough for me, the ISO performance. So actually I can coin some photographers that you can just treat it as a film camera and you won't have an issue with this. So I use a fast lens, maybe 1.5 here. So I didn't have any issues in the ISO performance. Yeah, that's actually my first impressions in these. I think overall I really love it. I love the way it shoots. This is going to be my daily driver now. So even for an older camera, I'm really happy with the purchase here. Like for me, maybe it's just me because I have seen some people maybe liking the Leica Q over the M240s or the Leica Ms, but I actually am liking this. If I just need to keep one Leica now, so I do have the X2 and also the Leica Q as well, I think this is the one that I'm gonna keep. So I'm not a professional photographer. I do the stuff for me. The Leica is for me, so it's my own shots. So for that usage, this works really better for me. This inspires me more to create more stuff because I am not a professional photographer. I'm more of a hobbyist photographer, and doing shoots, cameras inspires me to do my other creative work, which is the money maker. So this is something that inspires me to be able to do that. So this fits the need that I have for camera, creative camera, more compared to the Q and also compared to the Leica X2. Those two are still really great, don't get me wrong, but if I just need to keep one, this might be it for now. So actually that's my look with the Leica M240s. Of course, you're gonna hear from me maybe a full review of this when I use this more. This is just the first impressions, guys. Very new impressions here, but I would love to document my journey with the Leica M240s. So that's why I recorded this video, because the memory of first using this is still really fresh for me, and I would love to capture it in a video. So this is also a recording just for me, just to record my journey with the Leica M240s. So actually, if you're into that, consider subscribing in the channel. So I will cover more cameras. Maybe I'm gonna focus on Leica and Fuji content. Maybe Leica more so compared to Fuji's, because I'm actually considering this to be my daily driver, so I might use this more so compared to my other cameras. So if you're into that, consider subscribing. And if you have other questions for me from the Leica M240s, let me know down in the comments below. I will try to answer them as I use the Leica M240s. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next sequel video. Goodbye.